Hello there, my name is Ismaus, and today we're going to look at how to make joint pipes easily. The easiest way to make joint pipes in Blender 2.8 or in Blender generally. So let's find some interesting joints to work with here. Let me see. This is a very small image. Let me see if I can make it larger. Yes, so let's start by making this corner, this 90-degree angle pipe or corner pipe. So the easiest way to make it that I've found is that if you add a plane, and then go to edit mode and delete all the vertices but one, you can just extrude this to make the profile of the joint you want. So this is a 90-degree angle joint, and to make this corner rounded, just select that edge, then hold down Ctrl Shift B to bevel that, and then when you use the middle mouse wheel, you can add in as many vertices you want to get the resolution that you want. So let's put it around there. You can also come in here and change the bevel as well in the bevel settings to whatever you want. And after you have done that, you just go under object, convert to curve, to convert this into a curve, and then go under the curve settings, and in the shape settings, change the fill mode to full, and under geometry, set the bevel, give it a bevel of 1, and you can see that we have a very little resolution here, so you can just increase the resolution to make this rounded as you want it. And now you can convert it back to a mesh. Convert mesh, and we have our pipe. And the great thing about this is that you have control over the resolution or the number of polygons you have in the mesh. The polygons are only added where they're needed. So you can see we don't have extra resolution here or here that we don't need. It's only added where it is necessary. And for this loops that are going horizontally, those are defined by the bevel. Let me just get it back here. Let me just duplicate this and then select this loop here. Let me start from scratch. Add a plane, delete all the vertices. No, maybe let's just delete this one here so that we have that L from there, then bevel that. So the amount of resolution here in the corner is defined by whatever resolution you have. You set the number of segments you add here. So if we reduce that, that resolution will be reduced. And now you convert it again, curve. So to define the resolution around that is running horizontally here, that is defined, as I said, by the bevel resolution here. So again, make sure that the fill mode is set to full, and then increase the bevel. You can see right now it's set to 2. Let me first make a copy here. So if we convert this, convert to mesh, you can see what we have. So if you wanted this to be really dense, you can see what we have. So if you are in curve mode, you can also try to increase the resolution here. You can also just change the control type here. So if you right click, you can set the spline type to Bezier, and then hit V and change it to aligned. That way you can have more control over this. But I would recommend not to do that because it will bring in a lot of issues. You can see how this is a bit not curving correctly. So any changes you want to make, just make sure that you make them before you convert the mesh to a curve. And for this, when you convert the object to a curve, then you can just deal with let me first undo this a few steps. Then you can just deal with this resolution here. By the way, this resolution only works if the set spline type is set to Bezier or NURBS. If it's set to polygon, this resolution here doesn't do anything. Doesn't affect the mesh. Let me make a copy here just to show you. If we change this to convert spline type to Bezier, we can increase the resolution here. And I think it matters if the set handle type is not vector. If it's vector, it will also still not matter. Let me first see if it. So let's change this resolution to back to, and let's reduce the resolution of this. I think it only matters if the spline type is set to Bezier or NURBS, and the handle type is not vector. But if it's vector, the vertices, all those rings here, these rings here, will only be where you see the different vertices like that. So that's how you make joints. Maybe let me show you a different type of joint. We have seen this. For this here, that should be very simple. You can just start with a circle. Let's reduce on the polygon count. Let's say 12. Rotate this 90 degrees in the Y. Extrude this like that. So to make the T joint, you can just duplicate this, Shift D, and rotate it 90 degrees. And then position this so that this loop here connects with that here, like that. And we're going to use booleans, but we need to first fill in. We need this to be filled so that the boolean operation works correctly or much easier. Even this inside one. Now we can select this here, go to faces, and then boolean intersection. You can see what we have. Then you can go under the boolean options here and play around with the boolean settings here. So you see union, this is what we get, and that's what we want. But let's look at intersect. Looks like that. So let's just go with union, and you can see now if we delete this and this and this, you see that is what we get. But after, you need to come in and remove some of the double vertices that are added. So you can just right click, remove doubles, and increase the merge distance. You can see we have removed about 4 vertices like that. But we lack another vertex here. So we can select those and then remove doubles. I see we have removed 2 doubles. You can see now this is what we have. So you can turn on smoothing and even add a subdivision surface. You can see, and then if you want this area to be sharp, you just select those loops and hit Ctrl B to add more resolution, supporting edge loops like that, and you have a sharp edge. You can see that is the T joint here. So this is the same as this. So basically, let me see how we can do this here. So for that, I think we can just again use a plane. Let's delete this vertex. Maybe I think it's curved in more like that. I think it's more like this, and you can just bevel this. Maybe remember the shortcut for bevel for the bevel is Ctrl Shift B to bevel vertices. Just need to get the angle right. I think it's around there, and then you convert it to a curve, and then go under the curves, change the fill mode to full, and then the bevel, then the resolution, and you're done. Then you convert it again, object, convert, mesh. You see what we have. So now you just add in the details, the other details you want to add in, and you're good to go. Let's see, what can I show you? So if you want to make this nut, you just that should also be easy. Just look at how many sides it has. I think it's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6 sides. So you add a circle with 6 sides. 6. Then you can scale it in, extrude in, then extrude like that. So then turn on smooth shading. Sorry, subdivision surfaces, and then select the edges that you want to be sharp. You can select everything, and then deselect the insides like that. Then go to edge mode, Shift B, Control B. And then you see we have that as sharp. And you can also bevel this. Now when we turn on smooth shading, you can see what we have. And maybe this should be smaller, sorry, wider. So you can scale it in the X and Y plane like that. I forgot. I didn't select everything. Yes. Now if you want to add those rings or ridges, you can just, first turn off this, you can add a few loops like this, and then bevel them, reduce the resolution to about 3 segments, and then you can select the middle segments like that. And then scale them in the X and Y plane. And if we turn on subdivision surfaces, see what we get. Then you can also use the same thing, this inside part here. So if we go to subdivision, we can just select this inside, Shift D to duplicate it, and then P to separate it. So we have this as a separate object. If we turn on subdivisions, let me turn on random colors so that you can easily see what is going on. So you can see this. Let me turn subdivision surfaces for this. We can add this to the inside of this pipe. So if we select this loop, then Shift S, cursor to selected, we can select this now, Shift S, selection to cursor, rotate it 90 degrees in the X and the Y direction, and then scale it to size so that it fits in with our object like that. And depending on how much thickness this has. So let's see. Now the issue we are having is that the vertex count for this is more than what we have for our rings here. So this is about 12 vertices, and this is 6 vertices. So it means we need double the amount of vertices we have for this object. So let's see if we use the subdivision surface. If we apply the subdivision surface, The problem is that it's going to add resolution where we don't want it to be added. Yeah, but I think we are getting 12 vertices, which is the same amount as the same amount of vertices that we're having here. But the problem is that when we apply the subdivision surfaces, we also added resolution to the rings here. That is not really necessary. So what you could do is let's undo this. When you're making this here, where is it? When you're making, you could make these rings independent of this. So let me just do that. So delete this. So we know this is 12 sides. So we can just add a circle with 12 vertices and do the same steps. So extrude this down like that, and then add in the rings, and then bevel them like that. Then select, let's bevel this as well. Then select the middle loop, and then scale that in the X and Y plane. So when we turn on subdivisions, you can see how that looks. We can turn on smooth shading as well. Maybe make this sharp, more sharp like that. So again, we can snap these to the center here. Shift S, cursor to selected. Shift S, selection to cursor. Rotate these 90 degrees, negative 90 degrees. And we can scale this down a bit. Let's scale this down a bit in the let's see, Y scale. Shift X to scale it in the Y and Z plane. Now we can select these two and join them together. So when we go to edit mode, we can select this loop, and let's first turn off subdivisions. We can select that loop and this loop. Also make sure in top mode that these two edge loops are aligned correctly, aligned, and then also that all these faces are also aligning. These edges are aligning. So select those two loops and then bridge them by right clicking and then bridge edge loops. Now when we turn on subdivision surfaces, you see what we get. Now we just need to add supporting loops for that side and this side. Like that. Maybe make this here a bit more sharp. You see, and we can select that middle loop. Let me first turn on subdivisions. This loop here, and bring it to the center. Maybe it's this here. Move it until it reaches the center there, and then we can, let me see, then we can I want to also move these to the bottom here. So what we can do is select this, Control plus, until we get the entire loop till we have something like that. Then Shift D, rotate 90 degrees, negative 90 degrees. If you want to snap it to position to this area here, you need to first separate it as an object, because when you just snap it in edit mode, so like this, Shift S, cursor to selected, Shift S, cursor to selected, and then try to snap this object to this point, Shift S, selection to object to cursor. It will just merge everything into a single vertex. So if you want to snap it to this area, you need to first separate it as an object, and also make sure that its origin, you reset its origin, so that is in the middle of that object, and then we can snap the object to that position. Since we know that This here has the same vertex count with this, and it's the same size. We can just merge the two, and then select this edge loop, outer edge loop here. Let's see, let me make sure that I'm selecting it. Yeah, so this outer edge loop and this here, and then bridge those two, and now we can remove this extra edge loop, and yeah, we have that. Then to make this side, we just need to mirror, use the mirror modifier. So let me turn off these subdivisions, and I can select all the vertices on this side and delete them. Make sure that my pivot point is in the middle here, so I can just select these two vertices. Maybe let me select this one here and this one here. Shift S, cursor to selected, and then origin to 3D cursor, so that my pivot point is at the center there, and then use the mirror modifier and that should be in the Z direction like that, and then I can apply that. Make sure I don't have any doubles. It seems I do. Let's reduce the merge distance. Okay, so now we have our joint pipe. So again, if you want to add these ridges or rings to this, you do the same steps and just snap this part to that part. Just make sure that you have the same polygon count, and yeah, so that's how you do it. And yeah, so if you found this useful, you can leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.